Hello, everybody. My name is Margaret Newman. I am known for my theory of health as expanding consciousness, which we will get to in a little bit. But a little bit about myself was when I was in my 20s, my mother was diagnosed with ALS, and I became her caretaker. I cared for my mother for 5 years before she passed away. Those 5 years were wonderful and tiring at the same time. I evolved as a person, as a daughter, and I tapped into my inner caretaker as well. I learned more about my mother and grew a deeper relationship with her that I may not have had the privilege of if she had not had ALS. My mother was not defined by the disease. The disease just became her new normal, and out of that new normal, we grew a stronger bond that helped both of us enjoy our time here on Earth. My mother passed away, and after that, I had pursued a career in nursing and went on to acquire my doctorate degree in nursing at NYU. Now, the theory that I have established is considered a grand theory, which is a set of abstract ideas that together make a broad statement about human beings, the environment, health, and/or nursing. My theory is a broad scope. It is made up of many concepts that and propositions that are less abstract and general than the concepts and propositions of a conceptual model, but are not as concrete and specific as the concepts and propositions of a middle range theory. I'd like to take a moment to go through my theory with you on this slide. And if you take a look at the pictures to the left, I would like to go over that with you. Health as expanding consciousness, which originated from a unitary and transformative perspective of nursing. You see here the caring partnership is a part of my theory as a nursing intervention. This allows the nurse to establish a relationship with the patient and enables the nurse to understand and comprehend what the patient is experiencing. This then helps the patient as well as the nurse to grow and understand the difficult situation that the patient is experiencing. I believe at least 3 meetings need to occur to help the patient realize the pattern of how they are reacting to the situation. Then, by the end of those meetings, come to a better understanding of the impact the disease is having on their life and how they can rise above the chaos and take on their new normal, which now includes that disease. My theory is based on caring for the human health experience. While helping to care for the person, the nurse is caring for physical needs while also the conscious and subconscious needs of the patient when entering into a caring partnership. This not only helps the patient or person grow, but the nurse grow as well. Addressing this need through pattern recognition, the nurse is expanding the consciousness of the patient and him or herself while achieving a higher level of health. This then impacts the patient's environment, for example, the patient's loved ones. A research study was conducted using my theory as a theoretical framework and/or basis of the study. Yoshimi Fujiwara and Emiko Endo conducted a study of a patient with cancer and her family in caring partnership based on my theory of health as expanding consciousness. As you can see to the left here, there's a copy of the journal. In this study, the researcher was caring for a patient who was at a point in her care that she was very closed off to others around her while she was dealing with her end-of-life disease. The researcher noticed amongst the chaos in the patient's life that she was closed off to others, including her family and her friends, leading to the nurse researcher wanting to change all of this. She decided to utilize my theory and asked the patient if she would like to enter a care partnership together. Readily, the patient was interested in this relationship and it began. The nurse researcher first saw the patient and asked about her meaningful relationships and events in the patient's life. She responded with a basis of not wanting to be a burden to others and wanted to care for others and their needs instead. The next meeting between the nurse researcher and patient, this meeting included the patient and her husband. The patient then had realized her life pattern of not wanting to rely on others, and she realized that this was closing off her relationships with the people that she loved most. Her husband did not realize his wife's pattern. However, he did agree that they needed to be more open with one another, and he would love to change that. The third meeting with the nurse researcher, the patient, and the patient's family, her daughter. The daughter felt better that the mother had started to open up to the family and discuss what was happening in her life. The family as a whole believed change had occurred within the dynamic of the family during a time of fear of the unknown and chaos. The last and final meeting was with the family's realization and growth that they came to believe had happened. Amidst the life-altering diagnosis, the family had felt a gigantic shift for the better. They felt like a new family, and even though they may not have a long time together, the bond was stronger and deeper than before, making the patient feel better than she had ever felt before. Now, my theory in action. Throughout my nursing career, I have had the enormous privilege of caring for many different types of patients. One patient sticks out in my mind that benefited from this theory. A young wife of a United States soldier, a mother of two, endured a rough 4 months of chaos. She had learned of her pancreatic cancer while her husband was across seas and would be admitted to the hospital intermittently for months. The nights I cared for her were the best discussions that had happened. While she was still coherent, she would express her love for her family and how she just wanted to enjoy the time she had with them. She had drawings posted all over her room from her kids, lifting up her spirits. One from her son, who wrote on there his name, Dr. Ethan, and he was prescribing her a nap and a Band-Aid, and she would get better. Another night, while she slept, her husband expressed not knowing how he was going to do life without her. As he quietly wept, he expressed he just wanted her to be comfortable. A few days later, it would be her birthday, and the nurses on her floor would throw her a birthday party in her room. She was barely responsive by this time, unable to consume food of any sort, yet the nurses gathered as an extended family and lit a candle on a slice of cake and entered the room singing happy birthday. The children were ecstatic. Her husband and parents wept silently but graciously. She had a picture of her children at the end of her bed that she would tap with her foot. The following afternoon she passed away, but her family was grateful for the celebration, grateful for the treating of their loved one with respect and care and fulfilling her wishes of wanting to enjoy her life to the very last minutes of her being here. The husband, ever grateful that she was kept out of pain in the last few moments of her life. The impact on the nurse will never fade. These moments are the moments that you are the reason why you become a nurse. You help mothers, you help fathers, you help children in difficult times. You help them see the good and understand the future. As the nurse, you then begin to comprehend life as more than materialistic things, working the 3 shifts a week, making decent income. It's about the moments and the people in your life. And what a wonderful gift we've been given to be called to a profession, to care for others and help them through these times.